Christmas!
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
What are you doing?
Stop.
What is this?
This is my notes. I didn't actually get to write anything down. I was kind of busy this week.
Same. Because I don't even have this filled up. It's a good amount of notes, though. Anyway.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome to our Christmas episode about Christmas.
About the folklore and the tales and the scary stories that people tell around Christmas and the creatures that are associated with Christmas.
Chrysler. So, there's a couple notable ones that I think everybody knows about. Yep. You know, Krampus is one that I'll be going over. You have also Belschnickel, who is actually become popular due to The Office, really. But it is an actual folktale person. Not a saint, like Krampus is actually supposed to be a saint. In the Christian form of Krampus, yes. But Belschnickel is the... he's like a Pennsylvania Dutch, South Germany type figure of a... He gives people presents, and he also punishes people as well. And the very popular thing from The Office is Dwight showing up and going, "Cheer or fear! Belschnickel is here. And he will judge you if you've been elfish or impish. Belschnickel finds you...
Elfish.
He finds you impish!
That actually hurt. That's... Stop.
Finds you impish!
I can't beat you with anything else.
No, you can't, because I made this especially for whipping. Anyway, so yeah, I got that out of my system. I told...
I've been trying to do it the entire time.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It's one of my favorite scenes from The Office. Which is probably a lot of people's, too. But anyway. And there's a lot more to Belschnickel. Honestly, there's a lot more of his actual holiday. He does go around with... he's actually supposed to be the anti-St. Nicholas. That's kind of why the Nick is in part of his name.
So is like Bell like anti basically or something like that, or
I don't think so. I didn't do as much research on it as I wanted.
Very well.
But I did more on the Krampus mans. So we got that going for us, which is nice. So I'll start off with that. So the Krampus origin story actually is a pretty old one, and it has to do more with the the winter solstice than Christmas itself. It wasn't adopted into into Christianity and in the Christianity's version of Christmas until later in the years.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church actually tried to stop the involvement of Krampus because of its kind of demonic origin, or not demonic origin, but kind of demonic stylings throughout history. You know, it's kind of the cloven hooves. It also has horns like a goat. It's supposed to be like
Satan.
It's kind of like a Satan. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the old what is it? Like a super ancient manuscript or something like that, where there's like a rendition of what they think Satan looks like. It's the whole like goblin-looking type thing with half. You just said it.
Half man, half goat.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I'm not sure why that originates either.
I don't know either.
Because oddly, goats are eaten in a lot of countries and a lot of religious sects that believe Satan looks like a goat, but they're like, yeah, goat's pretty good.
Well, and another thing is that yep, it's gone. It's gone now.
What?
My thought.
Okay. Well, we'll go back to me.
Fawns. There we go.
Yes.
In Greek mythology.
Are they called fawns?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna do some research. Michael.
Anyway, so to start with, just going to kind of the origin of Krampus. The name derives from Krampen.
I was right. Go ahead.
Okay. Name derives from Krampen, which is German for claws, which one of my friends will probably tell me if I got that right or not. But it's thought to be part of the winter solstice celebrations. and they say that Krampus, or at least some of the origin stories and legends are that it's a son of the Norse goddess Hel, which is got a kind of a weird kind of origin in itself, because Hel is the Norse god of the underworld.
Yes.
But Hel is also the world of the dead.
Yes.
So,
and
she's also the goddess of death. Now, it's listed as sometimes as Hel is, the world of the dead in some legends, and then sometimes she's a god. And
I thought it was called something differently. So
this is the thing. Hel is in Norse mythology. Niflheim is basically Hel.
Okay. I thought it was called Helheim.
No, Helheim's different.
Okay.
Niflheim is the realm in which Hel, the goddess of death, reigns.
Very well.
She's said to be one of the children of Loki, and it's actually pretty crazy. Niflheim is a crazy. Like, we should after we get through the states, we got to really go into break down some of the. It's not really. I don't know if it's really cryptids or not anymore when you're breaking down Norse gods.
Well, that's more like cultural and religious type of beings.
Yeah, but this is just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So Niflheim has several sections, and one is called the Nostrand, or Nostrand. Maybe I don't know if I'm saying that right. Which has... Not Nordstrom. It's a shore of corpses.
Neat.
Yeah. And there's a castle that holds snakes, murderers, and people who are not prejudicers. That's not right.
Predators?
Not probably.
Do you mean snakes isn't like people acting as snakes?
Real snakes. Venomous snakes.
Why only snakes?
No, it's snakes.
Or is that
that's part of the punishment.
Oh, that's part of the punishment.
It's not just a castle full of snakes.
Oh, these snakes have been bad.
So, yeah, it's a pretty interesting... so, if that's the origin of Krampus, it's kind of a creepier version than our Saint Nick counterpart.
Yeah.
Which the Christians kind of adopted back in around, let's see... The Romans were celebrating the solstice and things of that nature back as far back as 217 BCE.
Yeah,
which, who knows if that's when Krampus was starting to originate.
Yeah.
But when it finally did originate, and as the world was becoming more Christian and and the Catholics were reigning, they were trying to block out Krampus being a part of it. But now the version of Krampus is not just from a kind of like a demigod kind of thing. It's more of a demon than anything else. And things he does, the things that Krampus likes to do on the 5th or 6th of December during the beginning of the winter solstice is A, beat children. B, eat children. C, take children to hell.
Does he make any delineation of like good kids or bad kids? He's just like,
no,
I see you outside.
There's
I
naughty,
beat you now.
Yeah, no, he only takes naughty kids in the Christian version of it. Yeah, it's all about good and evil type stuff. That's why you have Saint Nick, and then he's on the other side.
Other version, not the Christian version. He just goes after children.
It's just a celebratory type kind of being. During those times, it's more or less, it's kind of related to like not debauchery, but there's the celebrations are more, they're not Christian based, they're more like alcohol based, and everybody's having kind of something like that. So and that's kind of why the Catholic version of it is like, oh,
he's a bad guy,
bad demands.
Yeah.
So
basically personifies what the bad is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So other things he does is he likes to hand out coal, and still he likes to beat children. I don't know why it's like that's one extreme to another. It's like, here, I'll give you fuel for fire, and then I beat you. He's categorized as being demon-like and looking like, so he's got a goat head, goat horns,
time for Bad
human
Johnny
face.
to get into the
boy bag.
He also carries chains and bells and things like that, and usually has a knapsack on his back.
For children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or coal. Or more chains. Stuff to hit him with.
Does he beat him with the bag?
Maybe with a rope.
Stop.
Anyway, so this is the funny thing with it. So it's supposed to be the 5th of December is when they come around.
Yeah.
So St. Nick comes around the same time Krampus does, and they both walk the streets fighting children to either St. Nick gives them presents or Krampus beats them. So December 6th, children either wake up to open Christmas gifts or nurse their wounds. which was the funniest sentence I had read out of all of the research I did. It's like, so you got...
Go down and, like,
either...
opens on the door, like, hey, how'd you sleep last night? Hey, look, I got a new toy.
He's just bandaging up the entire time.
Silence it. Sorry about that, folks.
Sorry, that's someone giving me a phone call, boys. I thought it was quiet enough, but it was not.
Well, you also had it on top.
I had
of
it on top of a metal file cabinet,
metal
so that
file
didn't have it.
Yeah.
Um.
That's why I put mine on the carpet.
So, huh?
That's why mine's on the carpet.
Anywho,
It's deafening.
so this comes into the funny thing with the rise of the popularity of Krampus kind of started back in, at least in America, around 2015 when a Krampus movie came out. Which actually me and Dad watched not too long ago, and it wasn't bad, just wasn't really scary, except for this like clown part, which was awful.
Is that the one with like the
like the
face
predator
part?
mouth?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that thing was freaky.
Yeah.
But
I can't remember if that was supposed to be a parody or if it was supposed to be like more funny than scary.
no, it was supposed
Or
to be
just-
scary.
Really?
Yeah, there weren't a lot of funny parts in it. I mean, there
remember-
were some like one-liners and stuff, but it felt like the actors they had in it. I can't even think of their names because I'm terrible with actor names. But all of them. I was just like, none of them look like they're supposed to be in a horror movie.
I was thinking, you know how this is off topic, but do you know how you watch those horrible Amazon like
Yeah, the
C-rated
masterpieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're terrible. There's
Do you think-
so many.
Do you think that we could, because they're free, right?
Yeah.
Would we be able to watch and do a commentary on it while we're watching it?
Dad and I are actually thinking about doing that as a channel.
I like that idea.
We're gonna do it like stereo or the movie theater 3000.
3000.
Yeah. It's gonna be really funny.
Look at this. With the field freak when he slings into, you can see
when he
that
slams
it's
up into the
literally
hand, into
a
the
broom.
glass.
It's a broom with the
mask on it?
the mask on it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, this
about
is
that.
very
That's,
off topic. But if you ever want to watch a really bad horror movie about Sasquatch or Bigfoot, go watch Field Freak on Amazon. It's free if you have Prime, and do not rent it for money. Find someone you can use to get it for free, because it's not worth spending
It's
the money
not.
on.
No, it's not.
However, it's probably one of the funniest movies I've ever watched.
Yeah.
When it comes to a Bigfoot or anything scary.
Hey,
There
it's Bigfoot. It's cryptid.
are untold amounts of terrible movies on Amazon about this. Krampus actually has a horror movie on Amazon. It's terrible.
Oh,
Because it's like, Dad and I are, because my father and I, we will sit and we'll watch, we'll find trailers first. We won't watch it. We've learned our lesson. We will watch the trailers first before we watch the movies.
just to see how bad it is.
Yes. The Krampus one looked like somebody had went to 3 weeks of some sort of CGI, like, graphic design school.
Oh no.
And designed an animation, a 3D animation of a Krampus character who did, like, the same 3 animations. It's terrible.
Just every single time.
It's
There he
gross.
comes.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's
It's
funny.
really gross looking, and it's just, I don't. Sorry if that person ever watches this that designed that, which I don't think will ever happen. But if you do, I hope you got better.
Okay.
Anyway,
Sorry about that.
so back to Krampus. Nowadays, like I said, it's gotten kind of popular due to that movie in the Americas.
Yeah.
It has been pretty popular around the in that portion of the world, Germany and Austria and those areas over there. Still, but now they have things, and I don't know if they're in the U.S. I couldn't find any here, but they have these things called Krampuslauf, which literally translates to it's like a Krampus run.
Uh-huh.
And it's where people, drink alcohol and chase each other dressed as Krampus.
Be merry.
Yeah. I mean, they take a scary monster version of it that we have, and they turn it into something just kind of a fun little game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like there's a, oh gosh, I've seen it recently. It's around Christmas, and I don't know if it's in Sweden or Switzerland, but somebody comes around, and they wear, like, the skull of a horse on their head, like this weird costume.
Uh-huh.
They stand outside your door and they rap on it,
That's
and they start singing, and you have to sing back.
that goes back. That's a Welsh.
It's a Welsh thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna look into it. I cannot remember its name. It is really hard to pronounce. But actually, their
version is fun.
The talking about it is basically this deity would come to you, and it's the crazy horse looking thing, and it's the first notation that we have of people performing in rap battles.
Yes!
Because
Yeah.
you have to rhyme, and the more you rhyme, the more complex that you make it. You basically have to either confuse the horse or. All right, give me a sec. I'm going to look this up because I really was interested in doing this one. There just wasn't a lot on it.
Yeah.
Other than that specific thing. It's really cool looking. It's a really interesting Welsh tale. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the thing is you have to, based on what I saw, and I don't know if it's true, it was a meme I saw, but I think it's pretty great. You have to rhyme back and forth at each other,
Yes.
and if you fail to make a rhyme, it gets to come into your home and eat and drink all your stuff. Is that what it is? That's what I heard. It raids your cabinets and gets to drink, and then it's as if it's a person.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It
Gets to
basically
eat whatever it
come
wants.
in and does whatever it wants in your house.
Which I think is hysterical. I feel like we should adopt that. That is a really fun. I think that'd be a really fun thing to do to people.
So I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's a Mari Lude.
Mari Lude.
But yeah, it's a it's something they do with a horse skull, and yeah,
That's neat.
it's pretty cool.
Neat.
Yeah, I like it though. It was an interesting tale.
So then this goes back to Krampus goes around and a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is while they do now associate themselves with Christmas, we're more associated with the winter solstice, which you can actually track celebrations back as far back as the Neolithic age, around 10,200 BCE.
Really?
Yeah.
With what like winter solstice? Like
Well, I
parties
mean, if
and
you look
stuff?
at like Stonehenge and other things like that, a lot of that revolved around the winter solstice. And really, and people wonder why there's a lot of different reasons why people celebrate the solstice. You know, there's just different, people's different beliefs in what it is, but a lot of it ties to the changing of the seasons.
Yep.
And people are celebrating because look, now we're going to be able to get food again and things of that nature.
Exactly.
So that's really what it was. It wasn't anything.
A lot of people use
Crazy.
it for like time.
It was time management.
Time
too.
management, yeah, exactly. Because as soon as, like, you can see, there's a bunch of different, like you're saying, Neolithic structures that are made to reflect the exact time and place that this would happen during the winter solstice or the summer solstice. With, like, I think Stonehenge, I think it's the summer solstice, is that it lines up?
I don't know.
I think so. I'm not going to be 100% on that, but it's something like that, where basically the sun will line up where it's supposed to be on either winter or summer solstice, so they know that, hey, yeah, we can actually get food again, which is why we're so happy and merry around Christmas time, I think, is because we know that it goes back to the time of, hey,
it's not cold as crap anymore.
We get to start over. Like it's starting again. We'll be able to eat again.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
So real quick, I've got a picture of Krampus stuffing a child into a bin. My favorite thing about this picture, though, is not only do I think it's hilarious that child is being forcibly shoved into a bag, but so what I love about it is her face. Look at this face right here. Hold on.
Pretty bad at this.
Hold on. Almost there. Almost there.
Yes.
Look at that face.
Yes, I love my apples.
Yeah, she's like. look
All
at it.
she's got is apples, and her brother's
Well,
literally.
that's the thing. Saint Nicholas usually. So that's another big thing about what the winter solstice was, and Saint Nicholas and all this stuff. It wasn't really tchotchkes and toys and stuff that kids. It's food. Fruits, vegetables, things like that they would be giving to children, or they'd be shoving them into a flipping basket. Oh!
Not happy. I'm gonna beat you. Yeah, gonna have to turn that part down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. But it's funny. That's one of my favorite pictures. And then here is Belschnickel. Funny enough, he's just kind of like a dirty Santa. I'm Belschnickel, not you.
Elfish.
I'm elfish.
Or impish.
I'm elfish, of course.
Elfish or impish. I find you impish.
Ow! Holy crap! It's a whip, dude. Don't smack it.
It's gone forever now.
Until I grab it back when he's about to leave.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's really the only two I was really wanting to talk about. We probably go in more depth, but keeping it lighter since it's going to be we got next week. We're going to be taking off for Christmas.
Yep.
Christmas?
Which means that we should have a lot more information for Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Arkansas. America's place. All right, so...
All right.
Adam's got a couple of little boys to talk about.
So I'm going to be talking about Gryla, the Icelandic witch, and her Yule boys that come around during Christmas time. Their cat, the Yule cat, and there's actually one more cryptid I was going to talk about. That's the one that I was talking about that actually had the sightings and stuff.
Yes.
But I can't. I don't have the YouTube videos pulled up yet. I'll see if we can do it, or you can do it while I'm talking about it. But there has been, there's been actual video captures of one of these little things that I'm going to talk about. It's kind of creepy.
Okay.
The last thing right there, that thing.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. So I'll get to that in a minute. So so Gryla is an Icelandic witch that was kind of had poems written about her and stuff like that back in around the 13th century, but didn't get really associated with Christmas up until the 19th century.
Okay.
Her descriptions go around saying that she's an Icelandic giantess, or almost like an ogre, and she has multiple heads. Up to 300 heads is what somebody says.
Okay.
That's how one of the stories goes, with 40 tails that has
40 tails?
That has a bag in each tail, and in each bag is 20 children. And her whole goal in life is to basically find bad children, take them home, chop them up, and put them into a stew for her and her family, which she has 13 boys. And boys eat a lot. So the poems go like... let me see. It says, "Down comes Gryla from the outer fields with 40 tails, a bag on her back, a sword in her hand, coming to carve out the stomachs of children who cry for meat during Lent." Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah. So it's basically, she searches for the naughty children to find and destroy and eat. It's not... They don't get to go home and nurse their bruises. They don't get to go home and nurse their cuts. They just go away. It's kind of creepy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So, yeah, some people call her an ogress because she's very big and an Icelandic giant, basically. People say
female Shrek.
One of the rhymes for her says that she has 15 tails, each holds 100 bags. I said that wrong. With 20 children in each.
Wait, how many tails?
15.
15.
Which holds 100 bags.
100.
With
okay.
20 children in each bag.
So 1,500 bags times 20. It's 20,000. It's 30,000 children?
I think it's like 300,000.
No, it's 30,000.
Sure. So, yeah, a lot of kids.
What do you mean, sure? I did the... What? What do you mean, sure?
This is also the guy that doesn't know about meters to feet, so...
Well, I might not know that, but at least you're...
I take your math calculations with a grain of salt. So.
That's that. Okay, that's length. That's not math.
So the poems describe the back of her head. They describe her as having eyes on the back of her head, ears that hang so long they will hit her nose, a matted beard, blackened teeth, and hoofs. So it goes back to the hoofs thing.
Gross.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. She has a husband named Lepalu, which is her husband that she keeps now. It's her third husband. She killed her first, ate the second one because she was bored with him, and just deals with Lepalu. So, going into her children now. What's funny is her children aren't, at least from what I've gathered and what I've seen, they're not scary as much as they are annoying. They do certain things. Like, all they do is they come out and they cause havoc for for the days during, the Yule time. Like, during the Yule time, basically the winter solstice, starting December 5th or whatever, lasting, I guess, until the end of the year or whatever. So, I'm not going to try to pronounce their Icelandic names, so this is their English translations.
No, you should try it.
No. They don't have it, and I'm happy for that. So, there's one called Sheepcoat Claude. He tries to take baby sheeps from farmers' lands. There's Gully Gawk, who steals foam from buckets of cow milk. So what's weird is with all of these, it's all food related.
Did you say foam?
Foam, yeah. I don't know. I'm telling you what I'm seeing.
Okay.
So, but it's mostly food related. There's only like 3 or 4 that just do random stuff for no reason. So we got that one. Gully Gawk steals the foam from buckets of cow milk. Stubby, he's short and he likes to steal food from frying pans. Spoon Licker, he licks spoons. Leftover, like...
I was hoping he would say he steals forks or something.
No, he licks the food off of like serving spoons and stuff.
Ew.
So everything that's during the Yule time of their parties, all the food, all the leftovers. These guys basically are the ones that come and clean up the mess, but they do it without you asking.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna take. So Spoon Licker, he licks spoons. Pot Scraper, aka the Pot Licker, he steals unwashed pots and licks them clean. Bowl Licker does the same thing Pot Licker does, but with bowls. He steals bowls of food from under the bed. And basically what this says, like, Icelanders used to sometimes store bowls of food under their beds. One, it was cold, so it wouldn't go bad.
Yeah.
Two, I mean, it's a pretty great place to have a midnight snack, so it's pretty cool. Door Slammer, where he just, like, comes up to your house, stomps around inside, and slams doors continuously throughout the night. Skyr Gobbler? Skyr. He eats up Icelandic yogurt, which is skyr, which is what they make. Sausage Swiper.
Is he a doctor? Is he a plastic surgeon?
No. So, because, like, if you would hang up the sausages, you hang up sausages.
No, I get it.
So he steals sausages. Window Peeper.
Does he do circumcisions?
Shut up. So, Window Peeper, he likes to creep outside windows and sometimes steal the stuff he sees inside. Door Sniffer, this one is weird. He has a huge nose and an insatiable appetite for stolen baked goods, which I'm assuming he sniffs out with his nose. Meat Hook.
What else would he sniff it out with?
He snatches up any meat left out, especially smoked lamb. Candle Beggar. This one was interesting to me because I didn't know this. He steals candles, which used to be sought after items in Iceland. And another thing I read about is that some of the old candles were actually made out of not tallow, but basically like collagen and fat or something like that. So he would actually eat it.
Oh,
that was kind of gross. And then lastly, so that's all the boys. The boys don't really do much, or the lads, I guess. The lads don't do too much. But the other one, the Yule Cat, is actually kind of creepy because
is that part of the same thing, or is it a whole different thing?
No, that's their cat.
That's cat is the Yule Cat.
Yeah, her cat, the Yule Cat, which has another long name that I cannot pronounce, has its own type of mischievousness that it likes to play, especially the day after Christmas. So everything else happens up either with the leading to Christmas, after Christmas, like within a couple days. Gryla is just constantly throughout the Icelandic winter solstice time period. And then the Yule Cat is specifically the day after Christmas. It is insanely tall, very big, like bulky looking cat. Like imagine a dire wolf as a cat, and then also almost as big as a house. And then has black fur and bright red, shining, glowing eyes.
Neat.
So what this cat would do is, if you haven't received new clothing on Christmas Day to protect you from the winter, the cat would find you and rip you to shreds in your old clothing. That's
okay,
it.
what is the point of this story?
There is no point.
I'm just saying.
I think so. What it is because you would want to be happy to get new clothes, because new clothes, especially in a time like that, or at least in the area like
I get that. So it's more for people giving the gifts than the children receiving it. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look,
the kids need to ask for clothing instead of all the toys and all the food. They should ask for something that's useful instead of something that's going to disappear within a couple days.
I guess that's true.
But yeah, so it basically tracks you down. If you don't have new clothes, it comes, tears you to shreds, eats you, and then you're dead. That's it. You don't get a chance to get your new clothes afterwards. I don't know why these people, these things, they just kill you.
Yeah.
Krampus is literally like, you're bad.
Well, He'll either but he doesn't just beat children. He can take them to hell or eat them too.
Try to say that.
Yule Kotharin.
Yule Kotharin. That's probably not right. That probably is right. I don't know.
Yule Kotharin.
Kotharin.
I don't know. Do they pronounce the J?
I don't know.
Maybe they pronounce the J.
Well, I don't know because everything else from Yuletide spelt like that.
Oh.
So probably not. It's probably like
maybe like a Y.
Yeah.
Yola.
So okay.
So let's bring up some pictures.
Pick up some pictures. Pictures of.
Boo.
This is Gryla. This is one of the now. Remember, so some of these weren't. She wasn't necessarily associated with Christmas folklore for a while after her incarnation. But this is basically some of the things she would do. Is
some of the normal stuff you do.
Just some of the normal stuff you do as an Icelandic giantess witch that lives in the mountains. You come down to this lovely lady's abode and decide to eat her children's insides.
Hello.
There's like a couple pictures of this where it's just like there's another one where she's got like the kid hanging up and she's eating him. It's just very creepy to me. Uh-huh. And the fact that for some reason they decided to add her into Christmas folklore, I don't understand that part.
Well, naughty children get eaten by what's her name?
Gryla.
Gryla. Naughty children get eaten by Gryla.
Yeah. So the next thing is these are the Yule boys, or the Yule lads, excuse me. So I can't
just hit the mic with my headphones.
Sorry. I heard that. So if you look at the top left, that would be the sheepcoat Claude. I just wrangling a sheep. Gilsgower, Gullygawk, the guy who steals the phone. Stubby, the short guy who steals everything. Food. Spoon Licker, I don't like his tongue. Pot Licker, who literally steals pots.
Looks like a goat.
Then we got the Bowl Licker, he's the same type of thing. Door Slammer is actually actively slamming doors. Skier Gobbler is going ahead and go and get some skier. And there's the Sausage Swiper. Window Peeper. Oh, he even has binoculars. He has binoculars. All right, go down. Stop looking at Sausage Sweeper. Keep going. Then you got the Doorway Sniffer. He's got his big old nose. Meat Hook, who uses Meat Hook to steal food. Candle Stealer. That's Gryla right there. That's how this person describes it.
I like that picture better than the one that's a humanoid eating a child.
Yeah, and then this is Lipaloo. Lipaloo, her husband. The one she hasn't
Not
eaten.
that evil, but
He's lazy.
lazy.
He's a lazy one.
He's so lazy, he makes him evil.
So next, I've got just some renditions of what they have as the Yule Cat. Very, very big. See? Big as a house. I don't think you want to say it to that one. Oh, you don't have new clothes. And then go do the next one. And there's gosh. So also, crazy thing. She doesn't it doesn't just go after children.
It goes after
adults as well.
I was going to say humans, but those are humans too.
Children?
Are they really human though?
Really human? Okay. So that's about does it with the Icelandic. There is another one that I was looking into called the Kalinkensaros, which is Greek folklore, which kind of reminded me of elves or goblins.
Yes, the picture's definitely creepy.
So the lore behind these guys is that I think it's 13 days before Christmas. Basically, they live underground.
Uh-huh.
And their whole goal in life is to destroy the tree of life that holds the world up. That's their thing. Yeah, Tyr. Mm-hmm. So they're basically chopping at it. And then 13 days before Christmas is when they are allowed to come to the earth. And they cannot resist the urge. They have to get out. So what they do is they come up and they basically just terrorize anywhere they're around. Tearing stuff up, stealing food from people. However, they're incredibly, incredibly stupid. So it is very easy to trick him by putting what they would say they would do is they would take a colander or a like a strainer for macaroni or whatever. They would throw it. Some people don't realize
you realize people use strainers for so much more stuff than macaroni. I just love that. That's
the first thing I think of. I know. I make a lot of pasta,
specifically macaroni.
Shut up. Well, anyways, So they throw down this colander.
Like when you're washing vegetables. Or washing fruit.
Washing
or
fruit.
making macaroni.
So, but they're incredibly stupid. So what they would do is you would throw down the colander. They can't count past 3. So they would basically sit there and be like, 2, 1, and then the sun would come up, and then that's when they would have to return. They'd have to go back down.
That's hilarious.
And then by the time that they went back down to the center of the earth to where Tyr was, it would be regrown. It would be basically fixed because it would heal itself so quickly, and then they would chop at it again for another year until this happens again.
Huh.
So it's kind of funny.
Thank goodness I have a colander.
Did you look up any of the...
For my macaroni.
Did you look up any of the...
I couldn't find any pictures that you were talking about, or videos you were talking about on the YouTubes.
All right.
Do you know of what it is?
No, don't move. Just do it there. Hold on. Also another thing is they say they're basically goblins.
Excuse me. Goblins. Goblin deities.
Shut up. There's one with like a little kid. The mom is recording the little kid. And it's not that one. It's not that one. This one's funny.
Isn't that a kid?
Yeah, it's a kid.
Video that freaked everyone out.
Wait, no, it's not. Is it?
Yeah, it's a kid.
Did they really find out it was a kid?
Yeah, it's a kid.
On a motion sensor camera outside a home in La Junta, Colorado.
It's a-
Definitely not human.
It's a kid with a shirt on. I mean, look at him. My kids do the same type of crap where they go like this and like walk around all dumb.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Anyway, can we find this one real quick?
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Stop. Could you?
I don't like you using the trackpad.
Oh well, you're gonna have to get over it, buddy. This is it. If I could find where they got that video in. So, you have to keep talking. We can't have dead air on the podcast. Oh, there it is. Stop.
Oh, that's why I was
Stop.
trying to scan with the mouse, man.
You're terrible. Okay, so this one...
Oh, I've seen this
This
video.
one actually freaked me out a little.
Yeah, I've seen this one. Why is
Doop,
it...
doop, doop.
Okay, yeah, hold on. Let me... Stop it!
So, while Michael tries to actually put this together...
Well, I can. It's going to take 2 seconds when I have a mouse and not a trackpad.
Well, I was doing it faster without the trackpad.
You absolutely were not.
He absolutely was. His man is a liar and a cheat. So these are some videos online where they show goblins. I don't know if that's real.
Goblin
This is the
in-house.
one that I've seen before. Look
I've
right
seen this
beside the
before.
kid's head.
You right up here?
My chicken McNuggets.
That's just...
I don't know, man. Like, it's... I don't want to make assumptions, but the camera, the quality...
It's not super
It's
great.
not that great, which means to me that they don't have that kind of time and editing software to do that.
Look at how it ran, though. Like, it wasn't a full-out sprint.
Well, it has to be. I mean, it's that small, you know? So that's... I don't know if you can see that.
You know what's funny? Look at its ear. It actually has a pointed ear
It actually
back
has
there.
a pointed ear. So, again, I mean, like, that's just one of the things. I mean, like, there's
Gosh,
elves.
It's filmed with a potato.
It's filmed with a potato. But there's elves and stuff that are talked about, especially during Christmas time. There's multiple different editions of... Like, there's different revisions of these type of creatures in multiple different folklore.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things I thought was interesting about this, not only is it because it's a Greek mythology about this, but the way that they have to stop and count something, that's actually seen in a bunch like fairies and I think leprechauns too.
Really?
But basically, like if you encounter them and they're evil, or if you encounter and they have ill intentions, you can drop things like rice or sugar or something that they have an innate like calling to count things. Don't
Weird.
know why, but I've seen it talked about in different like TV shows or like actual books and stuff, where they literally have to stop what they're doing, like sit down and start counting stuff. And I don't know why that is, but it pops up in a bunch of different things. So Krampus, Gryla, her kids, the cat, and the goblin
Yep.
all walk into a bar. It's Christmas time.
You're so stupid.
That's it. That's a terrible joke.
So yeah, funny enough that there are weird kind of creatures in Christmas time. What are you doing? Look at the screen.
I can use the mirror. Aha!
Anyway. Yeah, it's funny.
So
It's to me, it's funny that there's so many different things around this time of year, and it is because Christmas has kind of exploded in the last 300, 400 years. It hasn't been really a super big holiday until the Christians took it over during the winter solstice and stuff.
well, you would think too. At least I don't know why, but to me, the way that it sounds, especially when it gets closer to this ending time period of like just the year coming to an end and everything's dark and cold and stuff, I think that's when all the like scary stories should be coming out more. Because you can't go outside generally because it's too cold. Like, nobody wants to go outside generally when it's too cold, and it's dark all the time. There's usually a bunch of cloud cover. So I would always think that this would be the time where people would be more creative with scary stories and things, and that's when people would tell scary stories and stuff.
Well, I was listening to somebody, I was actually listening to that Scared to Death, and they were talking about how Christmas time was the time for telling scary stories.
They told the story of Smee.
That's cool.
That one was spooky.
I want to see if we can get all the kids together and play Smee.
No.
Yeah, we're into it.
In a haunted house.
No, in Mom and Dad's house.
Find a haunted house. I know where a haunted house is, actually.
Where? In Florida? In Jacksonville?
I'll tell you after where I know it's at. Somebody won't be happy about me bringing it up. So
good to go.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, we will see you all in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We will be
come
covering
back to Arkansas.
Arkansas. We'll be doing Arkansas.
I don't even know what cryptids are out there.
I haven't even looked yet.
Neither have I.
Kind of saving the time frame. But we'll go ahead and call it quits here.
Yep. Nice job.
See ya.
It's a snake we had.